I'm in Navarino, New York, and according to my sources, these flashing lights over yonder there indicate the very beginning of the Finger Lake region. So, yay! I think I'm going to be done with all of the steep hills and going to be heading to Finger Lakes. I'm still about 8 miles away from Skinny Atlas, and so that's where we're headed now. I want to talk about something. I think today is like April 4th, maybe April 5th. I don't know. But we're starting to walk again today, which means we have to think about where we're going to sleep. Now, according to Governor Cuomo in the state of New York, it's a stay-at-home order, but they allow you to, go for walks with no more than 1 or 2 people to avoid crowds, and only go to stores and things that are open, that if it's absolutely necessary or needed to maintain the infrastructure, like truckers delivering things, supplies, stuff like that. However, I went to a site that was recommended called Campendium, which I used to find campsites. And there they have a listing for the COVID-19 virus and what options are open for camping. They provide lists of campsites and RVs and dispersed camping, which means it's like a state forest and you can camp anywhere for up to 10 days to 2 weeks for free, which is generally what a lot of us do. Well, I go to the site and it lists New York's recommendations. Now, things may change, but at this point, Mayor Cuomo, who's doing a great job, Governor Cuomo is doing a great job. However, it lists that campgrounds and RV campgrounds are open because they are necessary to the infrastructure. Now let's think about that. These campsites usually are one after another, or the RV parks. Oftentimes they have bathrooms, showers, a swimming pool, whatever. But he feels that's necessary for the infrastructure. So I guess we have to define what infrastructure is. I'm not sure. However, he's closed all of the dispersed camping in the state, which means, like, if this was a forest, you could go anywhere out here and camp for free, which would be ideal for people like, hold on, guess you have to hold on. Anyway, that's ideal for people like me who's traveling across the country, living in a van, or people who have no place to go that are used to living in a van or an RV or Class C. A lot of us can go out for 2 weeks or whatever, 10 days, and move to another spot according to the rules and be completely isolated. It's the most idiotic thing I've heard. Now people say, well, we can't maintain that. We don't have the resources. We usually have one ranger for like 100 miles. They never get to people. I've been dispersed camping on BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, for 9 months, and I've only seen one ranger. And when she stopped to us, it was down by the Mexican border in Yuma, and her home is way up in Las Vegas, Nevada. She doesn't come around but every couple weeks. So really, folks, come on. You're just killing the people who are traveling around, who live a different life than the normal people. They've sold their, there's almost 2 million people documented that live in RVs full time. They sold their homes and they travel. There's not enough RV sites and campgrounds for everybody. And a lot of them are closed down anyway because the owners don't want to be around the virus. So why not open up the public lands? It's just ridiculous. So I know they're moving as fast as they can, trying to figure it out, but if anybody has access to their representatives and contact to the governors of the states, have them take a look at that, and even the federal people. I understand the national parks because there's a lot more involved with that, a lot more road maintenance and stuff, but state forests usually have dirt roads or very poorly maintained roads, and you can camp and do your dispersed camping. So So there's really no need for that. Anyway, so that's my take on what's happening in the state right now during this crisis that we're in. Is like, you know, people like me who want to maintain social distancing, you really don't give us an option. I mean, some people don't have the budget to pay whatever these campgrounds are charging, and I bet the fees may even go up a little bit. But when you think about it, the campgrounds, you don't want to encourage people to take a holiday during the virus. So the only people that really should be in campgrounds are usually people that are living in a tight budget, in vans or trucks or RVs. So it's just not in a lot of people's budget. But anyway, the whole thing is, what do you mean it's necessary for the infrastructure? If you're meaning it's necessary to provide people like us a place to stay, then why the heck are you closing the dispersed camping? So I can only think, and write your comments below, because I just don't get it. And maybe you do, and you can help me and the other viewers of what infrastructure means and why they open up campgrounds that you have to pay for and you may not be able to afford it, but then close down all of the dispersed camping where people normally can camp, being isolated from one another. Anyway, that's my grumble for the day. Let's go. Here's that fox, and he's got a dead chicken. Hey, where you going? Where you going? Huh? Gotcha. It's up. Hey, chicken. Hey, fox. Hey, buddy. Hey. Okay, I'm at Seneca Falls, and the canal at Seneca Falls. One of the things, that probably one of the most historical things, which isn't true necessarily, but it's kind of the local, they believe it's factual enough to have a visitor center named after it. And it is that if most holidays we watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, you know, and he played George Bailey in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, and it was about a, you know, small, beautiful colonial type town during the winter. And of course, the story takes place with an angel, guardian angel, and he jumps off a bridge. And even though there's no proof of this and it's not admitted to, everybody kind of believes that this town was the model for that movie, and including that bridge. So if you can believe it, at some point they saw this town and were inspired, and with that bridge, to construct a set that looked very similar where that famous scene takes place. So anyway, just another little historical landmark on historic Route 20 and Walk Across America. Okay, only 79 miles to go to Buffalo. It's April 8th, and it's freezing. It's windy. It rained earlier, then it turned to snow flurries, and there's about a constant 20-mile-an-hour wind, headwind. Not a great day, but I wanted to take a couple hours to walk while there's a little sunshine somewhere up there. Even if I only get 4 hours in, tomorrow, believe it or not, April 9th, 2020. It's supposed to snow again. Oh boy. What else can you throw at me to make this a little bit of more of a challenge? All right, let's go.